Italian inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci sketched over 200 flying wings in the 1480s, the most famous of which was called the ornithopter. Now, with our modern understanding of aerodynamics, most of his sketches were impractical and would never fly. However, some replicas of his designs have been constructed and successfully flown. So, did Leonardo da Vinci build the first hang glider? Did he construct a wing and fly it himself? Well, we will never know. However, we do know that German engineer Otto Lilienthal was inspired by da Vinci, and Mr. Lilienthal successfully built and flew his own glider in 1891 hundreds of times. In fact, his flights became somewhat of a tourist attraction, with people from all over Europe wanting to see this crazy German fly through the air with wings. In fact, the Wright brothers publicly credited Otto Lilienthal for influencing and inspiring their work on gliders. Unfortunately, shortly after Otto Lilienthal began to fly, the Wright brothers invented the airplane in 1903. The airplane effectively killed public interest in hang gliding. I mean, who wants to glide a few feet off the ground from a hill when you can get in an airplane and fly to the next town or the next state? Hang gliding disappeared until 1951, when an American engineering couple named Gertrude and Francis Rogallo invented a kite-winged aircraft while working for NASA. The original intent was to use the wing as a spacecraft recovery system for Mercury program reentry maneuvers. NASA experimented with the idea, but ultimately decided on an ordinary parachute. Now, after the wing was rejected by NASA, the Rogallo couple published and distributed their plans to the public. In 1961, a young man in California named Barry Palmer, who was also an engineer for NASA, saw a photograph of a Rogallo wing in a magazine and built his own glider based on the image. There is documented proof of Barry Palmer flying his Rogallo wing in 1961, something which no one else had done successfully or repeatedly using this new aircraft design. Now, the next group of very important innovators and pioneers were from Australia. First, we have a man named John Dickinson, who created a Rogallo wing for use behind ski boats called a ski kite in 1963. Ski kiting became a popular tourist attraction at water shows. Now, this popularity led two other Australian men, Mike Burns and Dick Swinburne, to create a company called Aerostructures, which began to manufacture a commercial ski kite called a ski wing in 1966. Next, we have Australians Bill Bennett and Bill Moyes. These gentlemen began to take the Aerostructures ski kite on tour around the world and show it off outside of Australia. In 1967, Bill Moyes founded what is today the oldest hang glider manufacturing company in the world, Moyes Delta Gliders. 6 years later, in 1973, brothers Bob and Chris Wills founded Wills Wing, the first hang glider manufacturer in the United States. During those initial years, Moyes Delta Gliders and Wills Wing were making variations of the triangular Rogallo wing, which has the shape of a kite. Now, the Delta wing shape that we see on gliders today, looking more like a military bomber with a pilot flying prone, was invented in 1976 by a French hang glider manufacturer called La Mouillette, founded by brothers Gerard and Jean-Marc Thevenot. Their aircraft was called the Atlas and still serves as the dominant airfoil shape, used over 40 years later. So there you have it. Who invented hang gliding? Well, Leonardo da Vinci of Italy sketched some of the first hang gliders. Otto Lilienthal of Germany gets credit for being the first person to document consistent flights. Gertrude and Francis Rogallo of the USA get credit for bringing the idea of hang gliding back to the world. Barry Palmer of the USA gets credit for being the first foot-launch hang glider pilot on a Rogallo wing. John Dickinson of Australia gets credit for creating the first commercially available Rogallo wings. Bill Moyes of Australia gets credit for creating the first commercial hang glider company. The Wills brothers of the USA get credit for selling the first hang gliders in the United States. The Thevenot brothers of France get credit for creating the modern hang glider configuration. So like I said at the start, this sport has evolved over time, and many innovators are responsible for what it has become. There isn't a singular individual who can be credited with inventing hang gliding. Hang gliding culminated over many years through a series of people who were constantly improving designs which came before them.